She officially withdrew from both the Doha and Dubai WTA 1000 events, citing a right hip injury. That sequence alone ignited immediate speculation. Dubai tournament director Eala escalated the situation publicly, suggesting ranking point penalties should be considered for the world number one. And amid that escalating narrative, a $1.66 billion contract rumor suddenly attached itself to Eala's name, spreading rapidly across Facebook and TikTok before any credible verification could intervene. But this situation is not fundamentally about jealousy. It is about two elite athletes operating within entirely different financial ecosystems and a digital information cycle that blurred the distinctions between those realities until the lines became indistinguishable. So let's begin with objective positioning. As of February 23, 2026, Aryna Sabalenka holds the world number one ranking, supported by $1,606,482 in year-to-date prize money, accumulated in only 2 tournaments. She opened the season by winning the Brisbane International, defeating Marta Kostyuk in the final and earning $214,530. She then advanced to the Australian Open final in Melbourne. Although Elena Rybakina defeated her after overturning a 3-0 lead in the final set, Sabalenka still collected $1,391,952 as runner-up. Financially, her January alone eclipsed most players' annual totals. However, the competitive result was accompanied by public scrutiny. Former champion Pat Cash characterized her performance as a capitulation. Broadcaster Annabelle Croft described aspects of her on-court demeanor as immature. The world number one, by ranking and earnings, found herself facing pointed criticism from multiple angles. Eala entered 2026 from a markedly different starting position. She was ranked somewhere between the low 30s and high 40s at the beginning of the season. Her total career prize money had just surpassed $1.66 million, a figure that, when placed beside Sabalenka's January earnings alone, highlights the contrast. Yet raw prize money does not fully capture what is currently forming around Eala's trajectory.
And once again, after Aryna Sabalenka said that she would not be getting any star treatment at the Slams next year. I'll discuss whether Aryna is truly being snubbed by the swoosh.
And this is where the situation becomes more complicated. On February 10, 2026, social media platforms, particularly Facebook and TikTok, were flooded with a dramatic claim. Posts alleged that Abu Dhabi billionaire Sheikh Mansour bin Zayed Al Nahyan had offered Eala a $1.6 billion contract, $1 billion upfront, and $600 million per year over 10 years to become the face of a new UAE tennis championship. To understand how extreme that figure is, it requires context. The largest verified contract in professional sports history belongs to Juan Soto, valued at $700 million. The rumored deal attached to Eala's name was more than double that amount and structured in a way unprecedented in tennis or any individual sport. Fact-checkers quickly investigated the viral graphics and determined they were digitally manipulated composites. There was no official announcement, no contractual evidence, and no supporting documentation. The entire story was fabricated. Simultaneously, another rumor circulated claiming that Wilson Sporting Goods had offered Eala a $45 million endorsement deal. The posts even included a quote attributed to her, stating she intended to use the money to help others. However, the details collapsed under scrutiny. Eala has been a long-term Babolat athlete, consistently competing with the Pure Aero 2023 racket. She has no affiliation with Wilson. The quote used in the viral posts was traced back to an unrelated interview with a professional golfer and was inserted into the story without context. Eala publicly expressed concern about how rapidly misinformation was spreading within her fan base. The scale and speed of the rumors highlighted how quickly digital narratives can outpace verification. It is also important to correct another misconception. There is no verified record of Aryna Sabalenka making any comparative or derogatory comment regarding Eala's finances, whether real or fabricated. The framing that suggested rivalry-driven financial resentment is unsupported. What actually escalated tensions was Sabalenka's withdrawal from Doha and Dubai. Dubai tournament director Eala responded strongly. The event had recently completed a 2,000-seat expansion of Court 1, anticipating high-profile appearances from players such as Sabalenka. When she withdrew, particularly after being photographed training at Atlantis the Royal, Talic publicly questioned the severity of the injury. He referenced statements from the tournament's medical team that characterized it as minor and went further by suggesting ranking point deductions, not just financial penalties, should be considered for Sabalenka and Iga Swiatek.
Headlines this season alone multiple times. First for smashing her racket following her Australian Open loss to Madison Keys, and then
arguing that financial fines alone are not a meaningful deterrent for athletes already earning millions annually, Talic maintained that stronger consequences were necessary. Coco Gauff pushed back, defending players' rights to withdraw for legitimate health reasons and pointing out that athletes already sacrifice valuable ranking points when they pull out of mandatory events. But Talic's argument was direct. Tournaments are investing at record levels, expanding infrastructure, increasing operational costs, and building marketing campaigns around star appearances. When marquee names withdraw, that financial investment immediately loses value, and this is where the broader economic climate becomes critical. The prize money environment in 2026 is not expanding, it is tightening. The Indian Wells Masters, long referred to as the fifth Grand Slam, reduced its total prize pool by 2.87% this year, dropping from $19,387,080 in 2025 to $18,831,450. The men's singles champion payout fell 4.14%, decreasing from $1,201,125 to $1,151,380. At the same time, players are pushing for a larger percentage of tournament revenues. Those two financial trajectories are on a collision path. For Sabalenka, this is not theoretical. She reached the Indian Wells final in 2025 and earned $599,625 for that performance. The identical result in 2026 would generate a lower inflation-adjusted return during a period where her frustration centers on how tournament officials publicly question her medical decisions. A shrinking prize pool amplifies tension. It adds pressure to every appearance, every withdrawal, and every ranking shift. What a viral chaos completely overshadowed is this. In 2025, Aryna Sabalenka earned approximately $30 million through prize money and legitimate endorsement deals. That positioned her as the second highest-paid female athlete in the world, behind only Coco Gauff. The idea that she would feel threatened by fabricated billion-dollar rumors collapses under basic math. She is already operating at a financial tier that surpasses the fictional contracts circulating online. The jealousy narrative is not just misleading, it is economically illogical. Her frustration was directed at Talic's public accusations and what appeared to be the WTA's limited response to a tournament director openly questioning her injury. Remove the exaggerated rivalry framing, and what remains is a labor dispute wrapped in sensationalism. It is about governance, revenue allocation, and player protection, not personal resentment. None of that diminishes what Eala has genuinely built. Her rise is grounded in tangible performance and measurable growth. On February 23, 2026, she achieved a career-high ranking of world number 31, fueled by a strong run in Dubai that included one of the most significant wins of her career. On February 17th, she defeated Jasmine Paolini, the world number 8, becoming the youngest Asian player ever to record multiple top 10 victories on the WTA Tour. Her quarterfinal loss to Coco Gauff, 0-6, 2-6, was decisive. Eala acknowledged afterward that the gap between herself and the elite top 5 remains substantial. Against Gauff, her first serve percentage was 57%, and she won just 30% of those first serve points. The performance data confirms the competitive distance she referenced. The gap is real, but here is the number that explains why exaggerated financial rumors attach themselves to her name in the first place. As of February 2026, Eala has over 920,000 Instagram followers, with an engagement rate between 15% and 20%, approximately triple the WTA average among top-tier players. In Dubai, where an estimated 10% of the population is Filipino, her matches carried the atmosphere of a home event. Stadiums were filled. Fans reacted to every point with emotional intensity. Tournament officials noted that she generated larger in-person crowds and stronger digital engagement metrics than several top 10 players, including Sabalenka. Her sponsorship portfolio reflects that influence. Nike, Babolat, Globe Telecom, Bank of the Philippine Islands, and Milo. These are established, regionally powerful brands, not speculative billion-dollar golf contracts. Her commercial growth is steady, measurable, and compounding. Both players now move into the North American hardcourt swing, the Sunshine Double of Indian Wells and Miami. Sabalenka enters Miami defending her title, with a winning check exceeding $1.1 million at stake in a season where prize pools are already contracting. A poor March could open the door for Elena Rybakina or Iga Swiatek to challenge her world number 1 ranking, which would directly impact endorsement valuations heading into 2027. For Eala, the objective is different, but equally strategic. Securing a seeded position at Indian Wells and Miami would prevent early-round matchups against Sabalenka, Goff, or Rybakina, creating a clearer path toward deeper tournament runs. Deeper runs mean higher ranking points, increased prize money, and gradual narrowing of the on-court earnings gap. Her management team will likely leverage the Paulini victory to strengthen domestic Philippine endorsements, building upon the reported $129,332 in early season prize earnings. The central question remains, one that no viral hoax and no tournament director controversy has answered. Can Alex Eala convert 920,000 highly engaged followers and above-average digital influence into Grand Slam quarterfinals and semifinals? Or will the commercial momentum she has built outpace her ability to consistently compete with Sabalenka, Goff, Rybakina, and Swiatek at the sport's highest competitive tier? Because that gap, the one she herself described as prominent, is the only unresolved issue in this entire narrative that is grounded in measurable reality.